Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ninja Coffee, the show where we talk about ninjas or coffee. Anyway, so in today's episode I have two guests, my brother Ash and also Paul. You guys have met Paul before too. Paul, say hi.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hours close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood.
Relax, man. Just
sorry.
chill out and stop talking about this gloomy, doomy stuff. I was terrified by your words today.
Yes. We are gonna talk about doom and gloom. Or doomy gloomy. So, in today's episode, Paul, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the movie adaptation of the comic book.
The doom that came to Gotham. So we're not going to talk about the comic book primarily. We'll mention some things in the comic book, but we're focusing on the movie. Because we recently watched the movie adaptation. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you guys thought, but I can just summarize it by saying, like, this is the weirdest Batman movie you're ever gonna watch.
And one of the best.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so what is... Would you tell our audience a little bit about the whole concept of this story?
Okay, so it's basically a Batman story set in the Lovecraft universe, or a Lovecraft story set in the DC universe.
It's not officially in the Lovecraft universe, so it's more like a Lovecraftian story in the DC universe.
But it feels like it's the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of it's an Elseworlds story, and this comic book is from 2001. So it took quite some time before the movie adaptation came out.
Yeah.
And it's one of those weird, like, I would not have, based on like how obscure this story is and how weird it is, it's cool that they have made a movie about it. It's not something I would have guessed they would do.
Well, it's not the first time. If you think there's this Batman story set in the Victorian.
Maybe that was what kind of.
But that one, this one reminded me a lot about that one.
Yeah.
The Gotham by
Gaslight.
Yeah, that's a really good one too. Absolutely. So, a Lovecraftian Batman story. And, okay. What do we say about it? So, before we go into spoilers, you guys, so in case somebody just tunes in and like, oh shit, I want to read that comic book or I want to watch that movie, will you guys recommend this?
Absolutely. It's got a lot of the characters from the comics, the characters you know, but they're tweaked. They're somewhat tweaked, all of them. Even
some more than others.
Some much more than others. But even Batman is tweaked, so... But he's probably the one that's the least changed. Yeah. But it's really good, and it's got a very different vibe, and it's not just the story being a Lovecraftian story, but because it's set in the 30s or mid-20s, I'm not sure exactly when, it gives it a very different vibe, even though Batman often has those old mafia elements.
Yeah, that's true.
Batman is basically a timeless superhero.
Yeah, and it really shows in this one.
Yeah, I would also totally recommend this comic book, especially like there are many. Not comic book. Oh, comic book and the movie, because like there's so many good reasons to check this out. If you're a Hellboy and Mike Mignola fan, read the comic book and then watch the movie. If you're a Batman fan, definitely go watch it. If you're a Lovecraft fan, go check it out too. Like, you can be a fan of many different things and you'll find this very interesting.
Yeah,
right?
You took the words right out of my blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys heard him. So, okay. With that said, we will probably stumble into spoiler territory very quickly from here on.
It's pretty much impossible not to
Yeah.
with this one.
So, go check it out. Go read the comic book or watch the movie or both in whatever order you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have been warned. Okay. So, you want to just very quickly touch on the story.
Me, sure.
One of you.
Basically, the story begins in, I'm not sure if it's Antarctis or the other one, Arctis.
The beginning reminds me a lot about the only Lovecraft book I've ever read, and that's the
Mountain.
Yeah, Mouth of the
Madness.
Mountain of Madness.
Mountain of Madness.
Yeah, and something like that.
And there is a frozen mountain and some mad penguin and
not penguin, but it starts very similar.
Yeah. Naked.
I don't remember that. But
there's a naked Cobblepot.
Yeah. If that's your thing, go check it out.
And they find this guy Grendon, who's gone completely mad.
Mm-hmm.
And Grendon in this universe, again, spoilers. Grendon in this universe
he's the
Mr. Freeze.
This version,
but
Mr.
not
Freeze.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll become Mr. Freeze as he's been cursed or possessed by Yog-Sothoth, or what's his name?
Yeah, Shoggoth, is it? Like
Shoggoth. Yeah.
They have changed the names of these
Lovecraftian characters,
gods or monsters, demons, whatever you want to call them.
So basically, Batman arrives in this cave somewhere in the Arctis or Antarctis. We're not sure exactly where. He fights some
the one with penguins.
Yeah. It has to be Antarctis then. Yeah. Fights some evil penguins and gets this Iceman Grender. And they sail back to Gotham for the first time in a very long time.
20 years.
Bruce hasn't been home for 20 years.
It was since his parents died, or... Yeah. So
he's also recruited, like, all the Robins.
Yeah.
So they're working for him.
But in the cartoon, they're not called by their names, except for Dick. Dick Grayson is still Dick.
Yeah.
And then you got...
Jason Todd, he's Sanjay Toddy. So
yeah,
he's
Sanjay Toddy.
Indian in this one.
And
they switched Tim Drake with...
2023!
They switched Tim Drake with Cassandra Cain, but here they changed her name as well to Kylie Cain.
Why did they do that?
Why did they do that?
I don't know. She's Asian in the comics as well, so I don't know why they... No, they just made her more Asian.
There are some changes from the comic book to the movie.
So they're sailing back to Gotham.
But they also, like, when they're in the cave, they find this guy, don't they? Like,
the Mr. Freeze, and they bring him back to the ship. Also, Batman gets possessed by some Cthulhu madness because he looks into
the mouth of
Yog-Sothoth or someone.
And this is also different from the comic and the movie. Like was it the comic? He's like not that possessed.
No, he's not.
And
he's just aware.
He's aware, and he uses more like he's relying more on science. But in the movie, he embraces like
the
occult and the supernatural more quickly. And so they come back to Gotham, and there's a lot of weird stuff that start to happen.
Leave the Indian kid in the boat to watch over.
I mean, we don't need to tell the whole story, but you meet many of the... This is the thing, like, if you have no knowledge of the Batman universe, it might be strange, because they're like just... these characters that you don't get properly introduced to. Not all of them, at least. So they're the story expects you to have read or be knowledgeable on Batman. But I mean, you don't have to be. It's just you will get more out of it.
I'm not exactly sure what you do get out of it. Okay, you know that Harvey Dent is a politician kind of thing. Well, he's both a cult politician and a lawyer, but you don't need to know that in this story.
No, but I guess not. It's like it adds a little bit more.
It adds a bit more flavor, but really don't need to know it.
Yeah, maybe not, I guess. Yeah. So that's basically, they come back to Gotham, and then there are strange powers that are like coming to end the world and release this ancient evil. I mean, the weird thing is that we could have almost talked about every single thing in the story as well, because it's so weird and there's so much stuff to talk about, but we should narrow it down a little bit.
Yep.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Oliver Queen.
Oliver Queen.
Yes, the characters.
He was the highlight of the movie.
Absolutely. He was really cool in the movie, and he doesn't get to shine that much in the comic book. So it was very cool that it gave him more personality, and his epic fight towards the end was really cool.
Just the fact that he's kind of a actual knight and not Robin Hood.
Yeah. That was the coolest character in my opinion as well. We already mentioned the Penguin and Mr. Freeze. Who else do we have in this?
Well, we have the Doom himself, who is Doom is the cult of Ghoul.
Just should we spoil it?
Yeah, we are
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. And
he fits perfectly into this kind of story, like some crazy guy trying to bring an ancient demon god and doing rituals and occult stuff. That's just his character.
And he is somewhat occult in the original stuff as well, because he basically lives forever with that...
the Lazarus Pit.
Yeah, the Lazarus Pit.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, let's go more again back to the story. Is that Cobblepot, Thomas Wayne,
Langstrom and Henry Queen.
Oliver Queen's father. This is also a bit different from the comic book to the movie, but we can just do the movie. They
find the Necronomicon.
They don't mention the name in the movie, as far as I can remember. I don't think they ever said Necronomicon, but it is the Necronomicon. And what did they do? They didn't in the comic book. There is also this character from Lovecraftian lore, Prin, and they sacrifice him, and like they beat him half to death and bury him underground, and then like that's where Gotham kind of develops. But here it was a bit different. They sacrifice some
animals,
goats or horses or quacks, something, and after that they are cursed with, I don't know if it's eternal life, but like they don't age.
No, or not at least as quick as
as everyone else.
Yeah,
and they also
Cobblepot, Thomas Wayne, Henry Queen, and Langstrom, they're basically over 100 something hundreds of years.
Because it was in the late 1700s something they came to Gotham.
And yeah, so they already know like that this, because they also could sense that they have awakened something evil, and it's going to come and haunt their children. Or
so this drives them mad. So Langstrom,
no, but you should maybe start with Henry, because he's the one who goes mad first.
I thought Langstrom went mad and killed himself, and then Henry went mad and killed.
I don't remember who did what first, actually, but we both go mad.
Fair enough. Sorry.
So
and Henry Queen is instead of Joe Chill, who usually kills.
Usually kills Bruce Wayne's parents. That's just what he does.
That's his job.
Yeah. Here it's Oliver Queen's father.
Yeah, he's the one who kills the Waynes.
In very different ways. Like in the comic book, it's very different than in the movie here as well. A lot of different difference between them. So it was more graphic in the movie, wasn't it? Or was it the other way
I
around?
think it's more graphic here.
Yeah. Here he like
Mauls.
he brutalizes and kills them, and in the other one he pushes Martha and she falls and breaks her neck.
Yeah.
And this also, like, Oliver has some guilt over all of this.
Yeah. So he's basically a drunk.
And that's pretty cool because, like, he is this playboy character who's like he parties, he doesn't give a crap. He's just like he is kind of like that in the regular comics, but here it's because it's his reality escape because he's not coping with the past.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
But he's not exactly a playboy either.
No.
He's just an alcoholic.
Yes. So that's some of the characters. I mean, Jim Gordon is pretty much Jim Gordon here.
Yeah. No,
he's one of the least
only one who's
changed.
exactly the
Yeah,
same.
exactly. Alfred is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, I guess, Dick Grayson is not too different.
No.
But we don't get to see
we don't
how
get
different
see
he
him.
is.
The only thing we know that normally he would do a better job.
Also, in the comic book, Batman is like pew 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 using guns. He doesn't use the guns in the movie.
No.
So that's different too.
But that is also somewhat on par with the original comics, which were made in the 30s or 20s or something, where Batman used guns.
Yeah. You can even see him holding a gun on the cover here.
Yeah. One of the most radically changed characters was Barbara Gordon as Madame Web.
Definitely, yeah. So Barbara Gordon is the Oracle, but she's pretty much Madame Web.
Yeah.
And has magical powers.
And I can see into the future and all sorts of
just
stuff.
Like Madame
just
Web.
like,
Like,
she even looks like
she
Madame
even
Web.
looks like Madame Web. That's why I said it.
I'm not hiding it at all.
We have also Talia. She's pretty much Talia. A little bit different, but not too much.
Yeah. She even flirts with Batman.
Like
Talia.
Yeah. Killer Croc
is somewhat different.
Yeah.
Well, in the movie, he's just like a
mindless monster.
Yeah.
Something they summon like a. Yeah.
Typical goon.
But in the comic book, it's the guy they trapped, like the Prim guy.
Yeah.
We also have Poison Ivy. She also, like, they make her or something.
They
like,
make
summon
her from a tree or something,
Yeah.
or they do some magic stuff, and she becomes a living. Well, I'm
Living
not going to
plant.
say a tree isn't living, but she becomes a sentient being with superpowers, and fucks up Two-Face or Harvey Dent.
Yeah, she messes him up pretty good. And Harvey Dent is running for mayor. He's doing all the Harvey Dent stuff. And towards the end...
He's Gotham's White Knight.
Yeah. As always. But towards the end, when he's like totally mutated and messed up, that really reminded me of... You mentioned it as well.
The Color Out of
Space.
Mm-hmm.
Great Nicolas Cage movie adaptation. You guys have to check that out.
But he doesn't become Two-Face here.
No, he just becomes messed up and
and depressed and wants to die, and he's basically the
becomes
border.
a blob.
Yeah, but he's basically the portal to hell. That's what he is. He's just a vessel for Talia and Rachel Ghoul.
Any important characters we've forgotten?
Yeah.
Yeah?
The demon.
Oh, okay, that was the
Gone.
other really cool character.
Yeah.
Etrigan.
Or Gone. I mean, is it Etrigan? Or is it Etrigan? Or...
Etrigan, or his human name, Jason Blood.
He was really cool in this one.
He's always cool.
And he's super badass.
He's always super
As
cool.
always.
Yes, as always. And I mean, if you've watched some of the other animated DC movies, he's always really cool in them as well.
They haven't changed him much. He's
Nope.
very much the same.
He's
Pretty
exactly the same. And he plays a very important part, both in the comic book and in the movie as well. What?
I was just thinking, whoops.
Yeah. Should we talk about the ending? No. Too soon, maybe?
Too soon.
I think that's
all the characters.
That's all the characters.
We should talk about Batman before moving on to.
Oh yeah, he's in it as well.
Oh, yeah. And Man-Bat too.
Man-Bats.
Yeah, because that is kind of what we have to get into. We could just start with Batman's character. So we could just start off by saying this Batman doesn't hesitate to kill. Neither in the cartoon or the comic. Like, he'll do what's necessary to get the job done. Also, he's becoming more and more... We don't know if he's becoming more and more insane or more in tune with the occult, but he's talking more and more to the voices he hears. Because to begin with...
The voices of the bats.
That's the thing, like, the whole bat thing is a very important deal here.
With Langstrom as well.
Because Langstrom, Man-Bat, says that he can communicate with bats and hears, like, bats talk or something. I don't know what he does. But, like, the bats are the key to stopping this doom. And they're like...
But to begin with, you see Bruce kind of seeing visions or hearing stuff, but it develops, and after the fight with Killer Croc, that's when he actually gets in tune. But it could just be all the poison from Killer Croc as well.
Yeah, but he gets like the whole like mind-opening thing after he meets Madame Web as well.
Also, before he fought Killer Croc, he found something Langstrom stuff, didn't he? No, that was even before that. He finds some Langstrom papers. He reads.
Is it papers or was it a book? I don't remember.
The book was a colleague of Langstrom who had. The colleague of Langstrom had a book, and he fakes. He calls him by hacking the landline, and he asks about the book, and the colleague's like, "I've never heard about that book," and he starts finding him, and he's being supervised by Batman.
Yeah.
But after reading all this stuff, that's when he gets more in tune with it.
And, yeah, towards the end.
Yeah.
Should we just go there?
Just go there.
Just go there.
Yeah.
So towards the end, there's this huge fight between... first we have Talia and Bruce Wayne Batman fighting, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Batman kills Talia with this arrow that was...
But should we talk about the fight before?
Talk about the fight before.
The zombies.
Yeah. Because...
You see, there's so much stuff to talk about here.
It's a complicated story.
It's a very complicated story.
So Batman gets real messed up. Like, he's already messed up, but he's forced to kill all of his friends.
Yeah, because
they're
already dead. Like Dick and Sanjay and Oliver.
They come, like, they rise in, like, zombie state and monster mode, and they attack him, and he has to kill them off again. That was a pretty cool fight.
And he uses 3 of his magical arrows just on them, doesn't he? So he only has that 1 arrow left.
For Talia. Yeah.
Bam, bitch went down.
Gotta censor this.
And You already cursed. I don't expect too many people to watch this anyway. But the fight between Raj Al Ghul and Batman they both turn into monsters, don't they?
Yeah. Ra's al Ghul, he actually turns into Cthulhu.
Is that what he does?
Yeah.
Doesn't Cthulhu come afterwards?
Yeah, I thought so too. Cthulhu's coming through the
Yeah,
portal inside the
Etrigan,
portal.
yeah, that's right.
Etrigan fights Cthulhu.
But Raish becomes Yog-Sagoth.
Yeah.
If I understood it correctly.
Yeah, that's right.
I need to watch this movie again. We should have probably watched the movie like 2-3 times and read the comic book 2-3 times before doing this video.
Yeah.
But you can do that. You can like correct us.
Right in the comments.
Yeah. So Bruce Wayne dies and only the Bat survives.
Not yet.
No,
that's later.
Well, I'm talking when he's fighting Raj Al Ghul. He gets killed, right?
I thought he died in the Bruce dies in the flames, but the Bat survives.
Okay, that happens. But okay.
That's how I interpret it. But yeah, eventually Bruce does die, and at some point, the Man-Bat takes over the body and becomes the reborn.
So the Batman here actually becomes like Man-Bat. And one more character we haven't talked too much about. The discount sex changed Robin. Were you
Kylie Kane?
Kylie Kane. She's the only Robin that survives. And she takes over the whole Wayne Foundation thing, doesn't she?
No. That's
in the comic book.
Yeah, but in the comic book it's Tim
Drake. Tim Drake.
But she doesn't do it alone in the movie.
It's with Lucius
Fox. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird. You'd expect Alfred to take over, considering Kylie is a child.
I mean, I could have gone into why I would imagine it was Lucius and not Alfred, but I'm not going to do it.
No, I'm okay with Lucius. He's a businessman and scientist and all that. I'm just saying.
I mean, it makes sense.
It would make more sense having Alfred at least being a guardian.
Yeah. But we don't know if he wasn't.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Actually.
Yeah.
We just get to see that one speech and when they put up the statues of Oliver Queen and Bruce Wayne.
Alfred probably wrote that speech.
Probably. We are like all over the place with this review. I don't even, but that's like the story and everything in the movie and the comic book is also all over the place. I think we just could have like kept this video very short just by saying like it's really cool. If you like Lovecraft, you like Batman, you like Hellboy, just go check it out.
Yeah, awesome horror, awesome action, awesome
animation.
Yeah,
animation was really good, and I also
the animation is basically the book brought to life.
Absolutely, and you had some voice actors that have been involved with lots of Batman work before as well, didn't you? I thought it was some familiar ones. Wasn't Alfred the same one as old Alfred in the animated? No, maybe it wasn't. Some of them, I think, were the same ones as in some of the animated movies before.
We did check the actors.
Yeah.
But it's a few weeks ago. The only thing I remember is that the guy who played Batman sounded like Kevin Conroy when he was voicing Batman, but didn't sound like Kevin Conroy when he was voicing Bruce. That's what I remember.
There was one voice actor that I was like, oh, that's him.
No,
Bender.
Bender is in it.
Oh, really?
Who was Bender? Was it Batman?
Was it Oliver Queen?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Maybe. I don't remember anymore.
It's too late.
Yes.
Talia was some actor you knew from before.
Talia was Talia from one of the Arkham games.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we should just
wrap it up.
The comic is cool. The movie is really cool. Yeah, we've said everything we need to say. in a like from 1 to 6, how would you rate this? Where 6 is the
It's a bad
highest.
system.
Hmm?
It's a bad system.
Is it? You want a 10?
I want a 10 system.
He's so difficult to work with. Okay, out of 10 then.
Definitely an 8. Maybe
8.
more.
Yeah, 8.
8.5.
8. Yeah. So that's it for this one. Our conversation went a little bit all over the place again. I don't know, like, see it and tell us what you thought about it. All right. Any final words?
Nah.
Thanks for tuning in and being so patient with us. We'll try to be more like on subject and not
All over the place.
yeah, next time we'll
Blame it on the comic. Or
yeah, this was a difficult one to talk about. We could have made a very short video.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheers, dudes.
Cheerio. Relax. Don't do one.